Much, Andrew. So is Donnelly alone in this decision? How many other small-town libraries are considering drastic measures in order to comply with Idaho's new library law this summer? So I called around to a few of them, like in Garden Valley, in Stanley, and in Riggins. The community library, like several others, are in the middle of updating their challenge book policy to include the language from the soon-to-be-in-effect law. That's what I was told was happening in Riggins. Here's how it is. The written notice from the parent or minor to relocate the book they consider harmful, that's part of the process. The library then has 60 days to remove that book and move it to an area with adults-only access, or they could choose to keep it where it is after reviewing it. If they leave it there, well, that's when the child or parent or guardian can sue for $250. But that's not it. They can also sue for other damages. But for school libraries like the Salmon River School District Library, it's that review process which can also be costly in both time and money. Buying books for the board to review, and then it takes them time to read it. So if someone shows up and challenges, say, 10 or 15 books at once, well, that could mean hundreds of dollars and hundreds of hours. Well, those things are a concern for the Camas, they are a concern, I should say, for the Camas County Community Library. That's not their biggest concern. Stephanie Jewett has a master's in library science, and 5 years ago, she took the director job in Fairfield. It's a town with about 200 people living in it, and their library has never had a book challenged, ever. Yet here they are, updating their materials reconsideration policy to accommodate the new law. That's not the only way, though, it will impact them. Stephanie tells us the library is about 3,800 square feet, one room, as we mentioned. They do have a storage room in the back with a bookshelf that they could possibly clear off, where they could keep a book that has been challenged. But is that a reasonable expectation for a one-room library?
It depends on what you consider reasonable. The process itself is not onerous. I feel like the idea of it is unreasonable. I feel like there are a lot of people who come into a library who might want to learn about something that they don't feel comfortable talking to a librarian and asking for. And right now, they can go up to a shelf and they can find a book and they can look at it, they can get the information they want, and they can put it back on the shelf if they want, and they can walk out the door having gained that information. With this new law, potentially that is not going to be possible. They're going to have to ask for it if they want it. And that, I feel like that goes against what a library is for.
Some people could say that, you haven't had any challenges. It's probably not going to impact you guys at all. So you shouldn't have to worry about it.
Some people have said that, but again, I feel like the principle is there.
The library in Donnelly has decided they're just going to go adults only. No kids allowed without parental permission, I guess, without a parent with them. Is that something you guys have considered?
That's something that we talked about at first, but I don't want to do that. We're right across the street from the school. We have one school here in town, a K through 12 school. We're right across the street, and when school lets out every day, we have an influx of kids coming in, and I would hate to have to stand at the door and tell them they cannot come in. A lot of the kids come over, and they're here until their parents get home from work. And this is a safe, welcoming, warm place for them to be. And I don't want to stop that.
Stephanie says she also worries about people now with the backing of a state law, and they could wield it like a weapon to push their agenda. People who aren't local taxpayers and only sent their kids into a local library in order to challenge and remove certain books. Barring any lawsuit, as we talked about, that law will be in effect July 1st.